Over the decades, a number of production companies have been expanding upon their films to create extensive film franchises, with the likes of the MCU and James Bond even pushing the 20 film mark. For this video, we're going to be taking a look at the 10 best film franchises. So for this list, we're looking at film series with 3 or more films, so anything less than a trilogy won't be included.
I admire your luck, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
Number 10, the James Bond series. Okay, so maybe the Bond franchise isn't the most consistent when it comes to overall quality, with the likes of Moonraker, A View to a Kill and Die Another Day taking it down a notch. However, if you sweep these anomalies aside, you have one of the finest action film series ever created. Connery's films became the staple of the spy genre, one that influenced movies for decades to come, whilst Craig's more recent outings gave us a more gritty and story-driven character arc, reinventing the genre for the better. Plus, considering that in 2022 the series turned 60 years old, we couldn't have a list without including one of the most enduring franchises in existence.
I do hope that wasn't for me.
Number 9, the How to Train Your Dragon Trilogy.
Now do you get it? This is what it is to earn a dragon's loyalty. Let this end now.
Never!
In 2010, DreamWorks released 3 animated films, hoping to level up to competition like Pixar, and the film that came closest to achieving that was the ever-fantastic How to Train Your Dragon. Though it ultimately ended up losing the Oscar to Toy Story 3, the movie was both a critical and commercial success thanks to its tale of friendship, breathtaking action sequences and stunning animation, thus greenlighting 2 subsequent sequels, both of which are equally superb and conclude the story, making for a perfect animated trilogy. Number 8, the Before Trilogy.
Dring, dring. Pick up.
What?
Pick up the phone.
Oh, hello.
Allô? Vanny, c'est Céline.
Ah,
Comment ça va?
ça va bien. Et toi?
The series had inspired people to visit cafes in Vienna, bookshops in Paris and the stunning Greek coast. Richard Linklater's Before trilogy is a fantastic series of romantic dramas following Ethan Hawke's Jesse and Julie Delpy's Selena from their chance encounter on a train in Before Sunrise through to their marriage in Before Midnight. The second film in the series, Before Sunset, is arguably the greatest of the bunch, following the couple in real time across the 80-minute runtime, reuniting them 9 years after they first met.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
If we're meeting for the first time today on a train, would you find me attractive?
Of course.
Number 7, the Back to the Future trilogy. The first Back to the Future is arguably the finest sci-fi comedy ever created. With Robert Zemeckis in the director's chair and Spielberg along for the ride as producer, the duo gave us one of the most exciting movies of the 1980s, bolstered by Michael J. Fox's career-making performance. 4 years later, Part 2 expanded upon the premise, taking Marty McFly hurtling 30 years into the future, before being shot all the way back to the Wild West in the exhilarating final film. A consistently funny and entertaining adventure romp. Number 6, the Godfather trilogy.
Michael Francis Rizzi, do you renounce Satan?
I do renounce him.
So yeah, had it not been for The Godfather Part 3, this entry would have landed much further up the list. And it's not that the third film is bad in any way, it's just that when following on from 2 of the biggest critical behemoths in cinema, it didn't quite live up to the expectations. However, this should in no way detract from the trilogy as a whole, especially considering that The Godfather Part 1 and 2 are 2 of the finest films to have ever been made, and those 2 alone should make the series worth watching.
Fredo, you're my older brother, and I love you. But don't ever take sides with anyone against the family again.
Number 5, the Toy Story series.
truck!
Toy Story is a series that Pixar treats with undeniable love and care. The first film is influential to say the least, beginning the movement of successful CGI animation, and whilst the first will always be my personal favourite, it seems to be a topic of debate on which is actually the best, and you can understand it, because each one gives us something fresh to love, and all were packed with heart, emotion and incredible stories, with Toy Story 3 actually being one of just 3 animated films to have ever been nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. Plus, the most recent 4th entry was also a welcome surprise by many.
So long, partner.
Number 4, The Dark Knight Trilogy.
Here, won't be able to get a nickel for his grandma.
Enough from the clown!
Let's not blow this out of proportion.
Christopher Nolan's incredible trilogy all started with one of the best superhero origin movies ever made, with Batman Begins, setting the stage for Nolan's unique take on the Caped Crusader. What came after is arguably the greatest superhero film of all time, pitting Batman against Heath Ledger's Oscar-winning performance as the Joker in The Dark Knight, before concluding it all with a satisfying finale that showcased everything Nolan had accomplished with his fantastic trilogy. Number 3, The Dollars Trilogy.
You see, in this world, there's 2 kinds of people, my friend. Those with loaded guns, and those who dig. You dig.
Sergio Leone defined the spaghetti western genre with his trilogy of films starring Clint Eastwood. Whilst there's no interconnecting story between each film, Eastwood anchors the series with a bravura performance. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly stands tall as the best of the 3. However, both A Fistful of Dollars and For a Few Dollars More are standout westerns, bolstered by Leone's direction and Ennio Morricone's classic score. The Dollars trilogy remains essential viewing for both western fans and non-western fans alike. Number 2, the Star Wars Original Trilogy. Okay, so we're cheating a little bit here and instead focusing on just a portion of a wider franchise, but it's pretty much a given that the original trilogy is one of the finest series ever conceived, and it still looks incredible 4 decades on. George Lucas's 1977 film was not just groundbreaking in terms of its visual effects, but also its world building, which was expanded upon even further in the captivating sequel The Empire Strikes Back, with Return of the Jedi providing a fitting conclusion to a monumental trilogy.
Red 5, I'm going in.
Before we reveal our number 1 film series, here are some honourable mentions that just missed the list. The Three Colours Trilogy,
À ma santé.
Harry Potter series, the Three Flavors Cornetto Trilogy,
Morning.
the John Wick series, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Mad Max series.
It's wonderful to see you, Gandalf.
Number 1, the Lord of the Rings Trilogy. Whilst the Star Wars originals are excellent, there's no denying that The Lord of the Rings is the finest trilogy ever created. And whilst the later Hobbit trilogy wasn't bad per se, it never quite lived up to the reputation of the aforementioned series. The painstaking attention to detail, breathtaking New Zealand scenery and stunning effects make Peter Jackson's trilogy utterly magical. Return of the King even went on to get nominated for 11 Oscars and won every single one of them, including Best Picture. Thank you for watching. Have any suggestions that we missed? Leave them in the comments below and make sure you hit the subscribe button for new content.